Alright, so on to Jack Skellington's hands. As you can see, I already made one, which is a good thing because I tend to do things the hardest way possible, and I usually swear and throw things a lot, and sometimes there's tears. So I have a lot of wrongs before I make it right, so got those out of the way. The hand itself looks a little hokey, but I needed something strong that I'm going to be able to bend the fingers a lot, and it's okay if kids come up and touch and poke. But his jacket will go right up to his knuckles, so you'll be able to cover most of this. So the base of the hand, it is a PVC end cap. That way you can just slide it right onto Jack's arms, and it's easy to store because you just pop the hands right off. Onto the hand, we need to create some sort of base. So I used some wire. This is stuff I had lying around the house. I made some vertical gardens with. You can probably use chicken wire. You might even be able to use like a water bottle and crush it on there. Just something to make a basic armature. Since this is a bit flimsy, I stuffed mine with some styrofoam, probably packing peanuts, really any kind of lightweight material that's going to let it hold its shape but not weigh it down. Then for the fingers, I did make the fingers posable, which is nice. You can always give your name with a bird if you really don't like them. So I used some picture wire. This is 18 gauge wire. If you're going to use something that's smaller than this, I recommend doubling it or even tripling it. You just don't want a finger to break off and have to start all over again. The finger joints themselves are just half-inch PVC that I've cut into different lengths. And then the knuckles themselves are 3/4 inch wooden craft balls that I just painted black. You can get them at your craft store, Michael's, Pacatans. They probably even have them at Walmart. They already have a hole drilled in the center, which is fabulous because I don't have to do it then. You're also going to need some screws, and then last thing is epoxy sculpt. I used epoxy sculpt, which is an epoxy clay, to actually hold the wooden balls into the hand to make them really, really stout. And then paper mache and paper clay over the base of the hand. And some white house paint. I used just some house paint because it was waterproof. And that's it. Here we go. Okay, so first thing you need to do is on your end cap, you need to drill a hole in the center, a fairly large hole because this is where you're going to feed the finger wires through, and then just kind of ball them up in the back there. And then you're also going to need to do 2 or 3 holes around the edges so you can then screw your wire into place to hold that in there. Pretty important that you want to do holes that are on this edge. If you do any farther down here, you're not going to be able to put Jack's hand in all the way, and it might fall off, some kids might get freaked out, and Halloween's over. So first thing is to attach them together. Okay, I think 2 is good. That works. So now you're going to want to take your wire that you have cut for the fingers and definitely cut it quite a bit longer than you want because you want to be able to have some room to work with. And just put all 4 of them through because Jack only has 3 fingers and a thumb. Okay, so now that we've got all 4 pieces on the bottom, or through the hole in the bottom, let's go ahead and attach them so they don't keep falling out. Just kind of curl it in a little bit of a circle. actually just going to screw it right back into the bottom. Just kind of beside the hole a little bit. The hole that they came out of. Perfect. There you go. So we had to make a thumb come out the side a little bit. Let's pick one of these. So now I just kind of stuff some foam pieces in there. So the other thing I forgot to mention is that you're going to need some masking tape. We're just going to do a basic, these don't have to be in the exact perfect position right now. We just kind of want to get them roughly where we need them so they don't move around too much while we're covering with paper mache. Alright, there you have it. Next we are going to go into the paper mache strips. We're going to cover the whole thing in paper mache strips, probably 2, maybe 3 layers, depending on how much glue I actually have in there this time. And then we're going to cover that with the paper clay. Okay, so I think this is a good first layer. You just want to make it sturdy enough to put paper clay on it, that's it. So I'm going to go put this in front of a fan and then put 1, maybe 2 more layers on it, and then, oops, we'll come back into the paper clay.